Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Hard Count Football Podcast Live. My name is Jacob Charnow, leading the next generation of football fans live on the Hard Count Football YouTube channel, and of course, right here on 1252 Sports Chicago, guys. It's week 15. We have a ton of good games. We have a lot of COVID going on around the NFL right now. That's something to keep an eye on for sure. Listen, if you're in your fantasy playoffs, congratulations. If you didn't make it, didn't get so lucky, better luck next year. You know, I'm here, though, as always, to give you my fantasy advice for the week to help you try and win your fantasy playoff matchup this week and to give you all the games, talk about all these games here and all these lines for the games today with Harry the Greek in just a little bit. So with that being said, let's get right into it with some fantasy talk. I'm bringing you my 5 starts and my 5 sits. So my number 1 start this week is Diontae Johnson against the Tennessee Titans. Tennessee's 31st against the pass. We know that they give up a ton of points to receivers. Diontae Johnson is getting the load right now in Pittsburgh, right? He's seeing a ton of targets every single game. That's the number 1 thing you want to see in fantasy football, right? You want to see him get the ball, right? You want to see production. You want to see those targets, right? You want to see catches, especially in PPR leagues. Diontae Johnson is a monster. I'm expecting 8-9 catches out of him today and possibly a touchdown. So I'm starting Diontae Johnson in every single league. And if you're not, I don't know what you're doing because he is red hot right now. My number 2 start, David Montgomery against the Minnesota Vikings, ranked 21st against the run. David Montgomery is once again going to see the load in Chicago. I love David Montgomery this week. Minnesota has a weak defense. They're weak against the run. They're weak against the pass. I think Diontae Johnson could go for over 100 yards today. I really do. I think he'll have 4 or 5 catches. So in those PPR leagues, he will be of value as well. So I'm starting David Montgomery in all of my leagues. My number 3 start is Darnell Mooney, same Chicago Bears offense against the Vikings. Like I said, Minnesota's ranked dead last against the pass right now. Dead last, 32nd in the league. You know, Allen Robinson is out today, meaning Darnell Mooney's going to get all of those reps and all of those targets. Mooney's a young stud. He's a young star in the making. We see it. You know, all you Chicago Bears fans, you all see it. I'm sure you've all seen it since, you drafted him. I love Darnell Mooney today. The Vikings lose Bashaud Breeland. They release him. This Vikings secondary is already weak as it is. I'm starting Darnell Mooney. I think he's going to have a huge game today. My number 4 start, James Robinson against the Houston Texans, who are 27th against the run. The Jaguars, Urban Meyer finally gets fired. We didn't know when it was going to happen. I thought it wasn't going to happen until after the end of the season. Urban Meyer's gone after week 14. We'll talk about that later, but I mean, you can't be kicking your kicker. It just can't be happening. The culture there was not ideal. It was awful. So he gets fired, not even done with his first season yet. But what Urban Meyer wasn't doing was he wasn't using James Robinson. He benches James Robinson last week. Everybody was like, what are you doing? Everyone was confused. Why would James Robinson get benched? Nobody knew why James Robinson would get benched. It made 0 sense. You have one of the best undrafted free agents in recent memory in your backfield, and you replace him for Carlos Hyde because Urban Meyer had him over at OSU. Makes no sense to me. James Robinson, though, he's gonna get some playing time today with Urban Meyer gone. I think he has a big game against the Texans. It's a perfect game for him to show Urban Meyer exactly why he shouldn't have benched him. So I'm starting James Robinson this week. My number 5 start is Christian Kirk against the Detroit Lions, who rank 12th against the pass. While the Lions have quietly been pretty solid against the pass, DeAndre Hopkins is out today. Christian Kirk seems like Kyler Murray's second favorite receiver behind Hopkins, maybe even first behind Hopkins. I think early in the game, Kirk could see a ton of targets. And I don't think the Cardinals are going to take the gas off. I don't think they're going to take their foot off the gas today against the Lions. I think they're going to score a lot of points. And I think Christian Kirk's going to see 8, 9, 10 targets today, honestly. So I love Christian Kirk today. I think he is the wide receiver 1 over there in Arizona against a weak Lions defense. So those are my 5 starts this weekend. If you have any questions about start sits, go ahead and leave them in the chat. I can respond to them and I can give you your advice. And guys, be sure to share the show. As always, it's very, very exciting. to see this thing grow. I'm really excited to see what comes in the future. And the only way we can do that organically is if you share the show. So go ahead and do that. It would be much appreciated. Now on to my 5 sits this week. My number 1 sit, Foster Moreau, the tight end over in Las Vegas. He's playing against the Browns, who are 21st against tight ends. Either way, with Darren Waller out, Foster Moreau has not seen those targets that people have hoped for. I had him on my sit week last week. I have him on here once again this week. I do not like Foster Moreau. I think there's better tight end options out there that are probably still sitting in your free agency. So go ahead and bench him this week. My number 2 sit, Cam Newton against the Buffalo Bills. I don't remember if I had him in my sits last week. He might have been a start for me last week. No, he was not. I didn't even have him on my list. But I'm sitting Cam Newton against the Bills. The Bills are first against quarterbacks. They're first against receivers. The Bills have a great defense. They have a great passing defense. Even without Trey White, they've been pretty locked down. And Cam Newton, even against Atlanta, didn't show that he can do anything. So I don't expect him to really show up. So I think I'm definitely not starting Cam Newton today against Buffalo. Because the Bills are playing to try and get into the playoffs. They still need to win this AFC East. They're locked in after this Patriots loss last night. They are going to win the game today, I think, which we'll talk about in a little bit. But I think they locked down the Panthers offensively. So I'm sitting Cam Newton because he's just a result of that in all my leagues. My number 3 sit, Julio Jones against the Pittsburgh Steelers, who are 20th against the pass. Julio, even while he's playing, has not seen those targets that we've hoped for. The Steelers, I think they're going to get to Ryan Tannehill a bunch today. I don't think he's going to have time to find Julio Jones as much. And once again, you want to see those targets, and you're just not seeing them with Julio. You're not seeing those catches or anything that you want to see, and he's not finding the end zone recently. My number 4 sit, Tyler Boyd of the Cincinnati Bengals against the Denver Broncos, who ranked 9th against the pass. This is just a loaded receiver room between Jamar Chase, T. Higgins, and Tyler Boyd. And I think Boyd is the wide receiver 3 here, which has become obvious. The Broncos are pretty locked down and defensively against wide receivers. So I am sitting Tyler Boyd. While I do think Chase and T. Higgins have good games today, I think Tyler Boyd will not see the ball as much as fantasy owners would like him to. And I don't think he's a trustworthy start this week in fantasy playoffs. My number 5 sit this week is DJ Moore against the Buffalo Bills. Like I said, Bills first against the pass. Cam Newton, just not going to get much going today. I can't see him finding DJ Moore, who's had a few big weeks the last couple weeks. But the matchup is not ideal here for DJ Moore, so I will be sitting him as a result of the Bills defense being locked down against receivers. So those are my 5 starts, my 5 sits. Like I said, any questions, leave them in the comments, leave them in the chat here. I'd love to answer them for you. I'm here to help you. That's my role here. So yeah, let's talk about some of these games. Thursday Night Football, the Chiefs beat the Chargers 34-28 in overtime. This was a fantastic game to watch. This was a ton of fun. Patrick Mahomes, 31 for 47, 410 yards, 3 touchdowns and a pick. Travis Kelce, man, he had himself a game. 10 catches, 191 yards, and 2 touchdowns. The second touchdown to win the game. And that was a monster catch and a monster run after to win the game for the Chiefs. Listen, the Chiefs are 10-4. The Chiefs are 10-4. I'll say this about Kelce first. Kelce and Kittle, because I want this. If you want to talk about the best tight end in the league, they do everything differently, but they do everything well. I think it's a 1A, 1B situation with Kelce and Kittle as the best tight end. I think it's 1A, 1B. I think it's way too close to call. I think they're both crucial to their respective offenses, and I don't think you can really rank them properly. All right, but first, I want to talk about this. The Chiefs, they're 10-4, right? They're on a ridiculous win streak. They are red hot right now. They are, right? As soon as they were as something clicked in their minds, where now all of a sudden they know how to play football, right? We didn't think people were talking about them not even making the playoffs a few weeks ago, right? 2 months ago. Now all of a sudden they're competing for that top spot in the AFC, for that 1 seed. They're going to win the AFC West. I think this game secured the AFC West, in my opinion, for the Chiefs. But man, This Chiefs team can win a Super Bowl. They can win the Super Bowl this year as much as people don't want to admit it. The offense is red hot. The defense is figuring it out a little bit more now. Man, this Chiefs team they've been in my Super Bowl bubble even while they weren't great, and now they're up there for me in the AFC for sure. And then on Saturday Night Football, which was fun to see. I like Saturday football. It's a lot of fun to see these NFL games spaced out. You don't have to wait till Sunday to see all the teams play. Whatever. It's a lot of fun. The Colts beat the Patriots 27-17. Mac Jones, 26 for 45, 299 yards, 2 touchdowns, and 2 picks. Not a good game from him, but you're gonna find me in a little bit doing something that I've never done before, and that's defend the Patriots and defend Mac Jones. But on the Colts side, Jonathan Taylor, man, MVP candidate, the MVP in my eyes. It's either him or Aaron Rodgers or Tom Brady. I think that's the big three. 29 carries, 170 yards and a touchdown, and the touchdown came big late in the fourth quarter. 2 minutes left. Jonathan Taylor takes 167 yards to the house to ice the game for the Colts. Big play for him. MVP type run for sure. But I want to talk about Mac Jones here. Okay. I'm going to do something right now that I've never done before in my life, and that's 1, defend the Patriots, and 2, defend Mac Jones. Slow it down, right? I know that everybody wants to say, oh, Mac Jones, look at Mac Jones now. Look at him. Look what happened. Slow it down. Relax with Mac Jones, okay? Calm it down. He's a rookie. I've said it about Trevor Lawrence. I've said it about Zach Wilson. I'm gonna keep the same. Justin Fields, Trey Lance. I'm keeping it very, very consistent here because Mac Jones has played really well this season, but he's a rookie. He played one bad game. Against, in my opinion, what I think is the best defense in the NFL right now. I think they're the best. I think the Colts have the best defense in the NFL right now. Darius Leonard is playing like a defensive player of the year candidate. He's so good. Keep the same narrative, though, with all these rookie quarterbacks. Guys like Justin Herbert have really kind of, leaned a bias. There's been a bias towards rookie quarterbacks. People have their opinions. People expect these guys to come in here right away and look like Justin Herbert did last year. Herbert is an outlier, right? Justin Herbert's an outlier. These guys take time to develop. I'm giving all these guys time. Mac Jones played one bad game. I don't want to hear anybody trashing him, even though he played terrible last night, and I'll say he did. Stay calm, right? He played an elite defense and he struggled. That happens. It happens. It happens with the best quarterbacks. It's going to happen with a rookie, obviously. But these are the situations, like last night, where New England needs to help him with weapons. Mac Jones can't overcompensate right now as a rookie for the lack of weapons in this offense, which is why I think this Patriots team can't win a Super Bowl this year. When the defense doesn't play well in New England, like what happened last night, and the offense needs to step up and carry, and Mac Jones is throwing the ball 45 times after he threw the ball 3 times 2 weeks ago. Kendrick Bourne, Jacoby Myers, Ramondre Stevenson in the backfield. These guys aren't going to do it. They're not. They're not going to do it for this team. He's not going to take a team of average weapons, average receivers, and running backs and beat top defenses when the defense isn't playing well. He's not Tom Brady. He's not Tom Brady. That should be a primary piece this offseason because he finds the guys who can make plays. He found Hunter Henry in the end zone twice last night. But the fact that you have guys like Jacoby Myers, who scored his first career touchdown just a few weeks ago, and Kendrick Bourne, who is not a wide receiver one. This team needs to make a big move in the offseason. And they have no money. They spent so much money last offseason on a bunch of average weapons. And they're going to need to lock up a big guy this offseason. They're going to. It's crucial. Or they need to draft one of these big receivers coming into the draft this year. Because, man, it could get you can see these same problems linger into next year as well with Mac Jones. If you don't develop him properly and surround him with the weapons he needs, this team isn't going anywhere when they have to play against other elite defenses in the AFC, like the Ravens, like the Colts, like the Bills next week. You know, I just can't. I don't know, man. New England needs to figure it out. But now it's time to talk about all these games today. And of course, to talk about these games today, I need my man, my betting man, Harry the Greek. Let's get him in here right now. Harry, what's going on, man? How are you?
Good morning. How are you, sir?
Good morning, Harry. What's going on? I'm doing great. I'm feeling good today. You know, a big announcement. I know this is a
Hang on. I got to go full screen for this because I am super proud. It's almost like I'm related to you, but everybody has to listen to this. Jacob, take the floor.
So I'm proud to announce that next year I've been admitted into the Newhouse School of Communications at Syracuse University, and I will be attending there next fall. And I'm very, very excited. I'm super, super excited to do it. Surrounded with some of the best, professors, teachers, some of these alumni that have come out of there, some of the greats, Bob Costas, Mike Tirico. You see these guys. I mean, I'm super excited to go learn where they learned,
Without question, man. That is so. I'm so stoked, for
Lauren.
you. It's just congratulations. So seriously, man, it's wonderful. It's your poor parents.
Yeah.
Woo! That's gonna be a big bill. But you know what? Congratulations, brother. Seriously, that's
it's worth.
awesome.
Hopefully they feel it's worth it.
No, it's not. Your parents should be so proud. It's not even funny. Hell, I'm proud, and I'm 1,300 miles away. Hey, you were talking about quarterbacks,
Yeah.
and you were making excuses for Mac Jones. I didn't look up his stats or anything, but I want to go ahead and bring you some other stats and about a quarterback that you're not talking about, Jacob. Let's talk about Zach Wilson.
Oh, great. I love it.
160 out of 285, 1,741 yards, 6 touchdowns, 11 interceptions.
Mm-hmm.
Trevor Lawrence clearly has thrown the ball for more yardage, more attempts, worse passing percentage, completion ratio, 271 for 466 for 2,700 yards. In his touchdowns, he has 9 touchdowns and 14 interceptions. Justin Fields, let's go to Chicago. 133. He's only completed 133 passes, 231 attempts. Clearly not throwing the ball like they should be.
Mm-hmm.
1,585 yards, 6 touchdowns, 10 interceptions. Very comparable stats to Zach Wilson's with about 50 less attempts. Okay? Very comparable. He'd probably have a couple of more touchdowns than Zach Wilson's. But you know who we're not talking about?
Oh.
Davis Mills.
Oh,
the guy that doesn't start. Hold on. He has better stats than most of these rookie quarterbacks.
Mm-hmm.
And he's playing in a dumpster fire team with clearly the worst offensive line in football. No running game. Nobody to throw the ball to, basically. 179 for 272 for 1,700 yards, 8 TDs, 8 picks. Not bad for a guy that wasn't a first-round draft pick.
No,
not bad at all.
Definitely.
Not bad at all. Definitely has huge upside. I'll tell you what. I liked him going into the draft. I know he's not the best quarterback in this draft, but neither is Mac Jones. Okay? Let's face it. You are a product of the system that you're put into. I'd love to hear your opinion on that since I brought that all to you.
Yeah, but next, the thing with Mac Jones, in order to take that next step like I was talking about, They need to put those pieces around him, right? He's not going to develop and become this elite quarterback. I don't care where you're playing. You're not doing it with Jacoby Myers, Kendrick Bourne, and having Ramondre Stevenson or Damian Harris running the ball. It's not going to happen, you know?
Oh, what about the other quarterbacks then? Let's talk about Davis Mills. Tell
Sure.
me about who he has on offense and why is he
At
having
least
somewhat of success who's had the least amount of starts of the four that I've talked about.
Davis Mills has a guy like Brandon Cooks, who is at least on the base a clear-cut wide receiver one for this team, right?
Okay.
That's it though. I don't really. But then we've seen Davis Mills struggle because of those same reasons, right?
Correct, but that I'm going to agree with you on this, and I love to agree to disagree. But what of all these teams that we were talking about, who has the best offensive line? Would it be the Jets, Jacksonville, Chicago, Houston, or New England?
I'd say probably Chicago's offensive line's playing the best right now. No,
Oh,
have they not been great? I feel like
they're
fine.
listen, they're playing really good. Especially Jason Peters has been playing really well. Tevin Jenkins got baptized, but all around for the entire year, I'd have to say the New England Patriots. That system and that offensive line.
Out of all the rookies, I thought we weren't including.
I included the
yeah, of course it's New England. Yeah.
Okay, New England. I would say the worst one.
Jacksonville.
No, I'd say Houston. Honestly, it's one of these. It's a toss up between the two, and you could put Chicago down in there as well. Not now. I think Chicago's playing a lot better, especially on the offensive side of the ball. Hey, man, I just wanted to give you just that little tidbit. That was just something, you know. When
you're right. And this is going to be something we talk about in just a little bit. Why don't we start off with this game? Why not? Right? Because we're already talking about it, right? The Houston Texans today are playing against the Jacksonville Jaguars. The Texans are plus 4.5. Right? Mm-hmm. They're underdogs today against Jacksonville. I don't know what's going on here that people think that Jacksonville's going to show up and all of a sudden be this elite team without Urban Meyer. Like the talent was there before and now all of a sudden they're not, right? Harry, we've talked about this. The Texans defense has been solidly competitive.
Yep.
So has the Jaguars defense, though. This is going to be a low-scoring game, in my opinion.
Really?
I think that we're going to see 3 to 4 sacks by each team today. I think the Texans defensive line is going to get to Trevor Lawrence, and I think Jacksonville's defensive line is going to absolutely get to Davis Mills. I don't want to touch this game, but it's definitely interesting to me that the Texans are underdogs now.
Yes, it's very interesting. And if you remember correctly, if you go back a couple of weeks ago, the roles were reversed. I mean, Houston was a 3.5-point favorite. And I says this will be the first and only time this year that you would see that the Houston Texans were going to be a favorite in the game. With that being said, this game actually started earlier in the week at 6. Jacksonville was a 6-point favorite in this game. And I'm like scratching my head. And I says, do they have more COVID players on the COVID protocol than Cleveland does? I mean, what's going on? And then I couldn't really figure it out. Then it went to 5, and now it's 4.5. So the money is going toward Houston. I think they respect personally Houston's defense a lot more than they're going to respect Jacksonville's defense. With that being said, I still think Davis Mills throws for 300. I say he throws for 3 touchdowns. But you know what? Here's the problem. I think he's going to throw that as many picks. I think the game's going to be too tight. I'm going to Texas on this game, and Texas means what?
El Paso.
You're damn right. By the way, you have a couple of comments up here. I'll go ahead and put them up here for you.
I'm such a bad quarterback that I got our head coach fired. I'm all for the Trevor Lawrence slander today. That's fine. No, I'm just kidding. I don't like when people I don't understand trashing these rookie quarterbacks right now. Right? I just can't see it. There was not one way, right? Urban Meyer, the play calling was bad. It was bad for the culture. But that doesn't mean that Trevor Lawrence was playing any better, right? Doesn't mean he would have been playing any better without him. He's still making those bad decisions. He's still under the same amount of pressure, right? I think it's a talent issue in Jacksonville. I don't think it's yes, it was partially a coaching issue. I'm not saying they shouldn't have fired Urban Meyer because he was awful for the culture there. But they got to figure this offensive line out, because there's nothing there that's helping Trevor Lawrence, you know?
No, I completely agree with you. May I interject with one thing, though?
Sure.
when your quarterback has to throw almost 500 times as a rookie quarterback, you're
Yeah,
either trying to make them or break them. And
he
9
threw
times out of 10, you're going to break a
he
quarterback
threw
doing that.
500 times though, and threw 1 touchdown in the last month.
I
1 touchdown
I
since
I
November.
get it. I think listen, I'm not going to bash Urban Meyer. Okay. It's the easiest thing to do. It's the easiest thing to do to kick somebody when they're down.
Yeah.
Just like the kicker that said he got kicked in the leg from Urban Meyer. Did it happen? Probably. Was it exaggerated? Most likely. Okay. I
Mhm.
mean, he could have walked by and kicked him. Make your effing kicks. Okay. But the newspapers, just like the media that's out there, it's for lack of better terms, it's kind of fake. It really is. I mean, you never know what's coming. Well, you don't know whatever is the truth coming out of your mouth, especially when you have to listen to things like that, and especially for someone that can't defend himself because he's no longer there. Now, look, I was an Urban Meyer fan when he was in Florida. After he left Florida, I kind of started seeing a few things I didn't like, so I wasn't a big supporter of Trevor Lawrence and Urban Meyer working together. But if you remember, Jacob, over a year ago, you and I were talking on another platform, and I was saying they're doing it for one reason: money, and they're going to sell tickets. Urban Meyer, just south of them, Florida Gators, just north of them, Trevor
You're right.
Lawrence.
You're right.
And it's exactly what happened. But I don't remember where I was at. I'm just being loquacious here.
No, I think, you know, the Urban Meyer thing was if you did any research on Urban Meyer, if they really did any research on Urban Meyer before they hired him, he wouldn't have been the head coach there in terms of researching his character and the culture that he was bringing to Jacksonville.
Christopher Cole says, "Hey Jacob, who steps in for the Bucks wide receiver Brashard Perriman? Oh, the one that caught the touchdown pass, who's probably never going to catch a touchdown for the rest of the season." Chris,
No one,
sorry to say it.
Anybody, Tyler Johnson can fill in for Brashad Perriman.
I
That's
mean,
my
come on,
sure. Go
seriously,
ahead.
Chris. Love you. Thank you
Yeah,
very much for the comment. We
you
love
don't
you
need
on the
someone
show.
to step in for
You don't
Perriman.
need Brashard Perriman. Trust
You're,
me, you
yeah,
don't.
you're okay. I
That
dealt with
team
him
is
last year.
the Buccaneers are stacked. And by the way, here comes the comment of the day from the troll of the year, Mr. Troy Polamalu. Jacob, what do you think
What do you think about
about
Urban Meyer
Urban
now being
Meyer's?
the NFL's all-time greatest kickers, along with Adam Vinatieri and Kareem Hunt? Right. That's I think that,
You can throw Ray Rice in there too.
right now Ray Rice is.
Oh,
Oh, you can't. There we go.
that was bad.
Yeah. Well, we'll move on to another game here.
But
All right.
that was good though. You got to admit it, Troy.
It
That
was
was really good.
all right. The Carolina Panthers plus 13 today at the Buffalo Bills. Points totals 44. Harry, who do you like and why?
Carolina at Buffalo. That game. I'm going to tell you right now. I bet it earlier in the week. I absolutely loved Buffalo at -11. And I'm going to tell you why. They have to make a statement. They smell blood.
Same.
Okay. There's blood in the water. New England lost yesterday. And it's going to go down to the showdown next week. Buffalo's going to New England. Carolina ain't got it, bro. Come on.
No, they're
Stop
done.
it. I don't care who's playing. They're
Goodbye.
absolutely, you could stick a fork in them. It's a ton of points. But you know what? I'm pretty apprehensive now in Buffalo because Buffalo's 13.5-point favorites now. Since yesterday, the line has moved 2 points. That's huge. You got to stay away from the game. However, the over and under is 44, Jacob. I kind of like the over here. I think Carolina at the end of the game, I think you're going to get a backdoor over because of a garbage touchdown. But don't be surprised. I think Buffalo probably
All right.
covers the over themselves.
We want to talk about backdoor covers here. Listen, last week, my number one pick. Do you remember what it was? It was the Ravens plus 2.5 at the Cleveland Browns, right? And I took the over in that game. I parlayed both of them, right? Backdoor over, backdoor cover here with Tyler Huntley covering. I thought when they were down 24-6 and Lamar got hurt and then Tyler Huntley comes in and covers my ass late in the fourth quarter.
You love Tyler Huntley, didn't you?
I love him. It was beautiful.
Love him. Great quarterback that week. By the way, my wife loves you for that pick as well.
It was ridiculous.
But you know what? Don't say anything. I took the credit for that. I got that pick from you.
Yeah, there we go. All right. So I love Buffalo in this game too. I mean, I don't know.
Even at 13.5?
Even at I think this team needs to come in and make a statement, like you said.
They're going to. I mean, they're supposed to cover. I'm afraid when they get over that 11.5 mark because of that extra touchdown or that extra field goal.
They start running the ball. I know. I worry about it. I don't know. I probably won't touch the game just because it's so many points. But
No, I get it.
I think there's a real chance that Buffalo covers the 13.5.
But I do like the over a smidge here.
Mm,
It's dead on perfect. You could
I don't
go
want.
under,
I
you
don't
could
want
go
to.
over.
I don't want to take credit away from the Panthers defense, though. You know,
Yeah,
they've
they're
been
gonna
quietly
have their
fine.
hands full.
And Josh Allen is playing hurt today.
Yeah, I understand it. Now they're gonna go back. They're gonna have to run the football, and I think that's gonna actually help them out a lot. Look, that over and under literally is dead on where it's supposed to be.
Mhm.
The only reason why I'm saying bet small in the over is because I think Carolina is going to get a
Sure.
garbage
No,
touchdown at
absolutely.
the end, and that is just going to put it over. Honestly, I think Buffalo's putting up 35 in this game.
I absolutely could see that happening for sure. That would help my fantasy team a lot too. Josh Allen's my quarterback. The New York Jets plus 9.5 today at the Miami Dolphins. Points total's 41. I'm not touching this game, Harry. I hate this. This game is not going to be fun to watch. This game is never exciting. The Jets and the Dolphins when they play. Whatever. 9.5, Harry. Is there anything you like in this game? Maybe
Yeah,
maybe the
actually,
over.
Miami. It used to be 9.5, and now it's 10. But I'll tell you what I do like in this game. I like the under. I'm going to tell you
Under.
why. I like the under in this game. The total's 44 points. I don't think the Jets are going to be able to put up many points in this game against
Oh,
this Miami defense.
George Fant's not playing today.
Yep, and well, that could change it a little bit, but I still like the under. I'm going to say very, very, very small position on the under. And anytime you have a division game and you're giving up that many points, you're always supposed to take the points. And if you can't, you're supposed to go to Texas, and Texas means
El Paso. I'm not. Yeah,
there you go.
I'm going to El Paso here.
Yep.
The Dallas Cowboys head into MetLife Stadium as
Oh.
11.5 point underdogs to take 11.5 point favorites to take on the Giants. The point total is 44.5. Harry, is there? I hate getting so confident in these big spreads, right? But there's no way the Cowboys don't blow out the Giants today.
That's
Right?
what we said last week with Dallas and when they were playing, and all of a sudden, not Dallas, when the Giants were, who were they playing last week with Napoleon Dynamite under center?
Were they playing the
Who
Chargers last week? Was that
It
game?
was the Chargers, yeah, and all of a
And they
sudden they
got
just
blown
put up
out.
20s. Yeah, but they still end up pulling up 20 some points in the game. It's just look, that game was such an under game. It wasn't even funny. This is a definite over game, 44,
I think
and
so.
I'm not giving credit to the
I
New
like.
York Giants offense here whatsoever. But in the fourth quarter, the dogs are going to be called off. Do not play the spread here. Stay away from the game. Play the over 44, because I honestly think Dallas is going to put up 30 plus points in this game.
All right. Last Sunday, I at the end of my show, I rant about the Giants and how they need to fire Joe Judge, right? And
Yeah.
then on Monday or Tuesday, they're like, "We're keeping him." They're like, "We're keeping him."
But it's just the opposite. And by the way, the game is now 11.5. It was 10.5, and that line just keeps going up and up and up. It's almost like a Southwest Airlines.
I'm not going to touch the line. I like the over in this game as well, though, for sure.
Right.
All right. The Tennessee Titans underdogs +1 at the Pittsburgh Steelers. Point total's 42.5. I think if the Titans were home, they would be favorites. I think it's more of a home thing, the home field advantage than anything. El Paso for me. I don't know. Harry, I always want to say take the Steelers. I always do it because their line, it always looks nice to me, right?
Yes,
The
sir.
problem is I could see the Titans coming in. Everything is telling me the Steelers -1. Everything is telling me the Steelers -1 today.
Give me your reasons, because this is where you and I are going to completely differ here.
But I can move either way here on this one. So I'm probably not going to touch the game. But if I had to back me into a corner, I'm taking the Steelers. I'm not giving this pick out, but the Steelers -1 today. Titans defense has been lackluster, right? I see Najee Harris going for 80 yards. I see Deontay Johnson having 8 catches for 80 yards. I see the Steelers team putting up 24, 27 points today. I do, right? They're a second half team. They are. We saw them light it up towards the end of the game last week against the Vikings. And Harry, you make money off betting against the Steelers. You do. I know you.
A lot of it.
Oh, I know you do. But the Titans have nothing, right? They got nothing. Tannehill's inconsistent. Their offensive line is not great. They have no run game right now. Their receivers are hurt. Julio's playing, but Julio doesn't really make a difference. They have no tight end play. What do they got going for them? What is going on in Tennessee that would convince me to take them on the road against a healthy Steelers team, Harry?
Glad you asked that question, Jacob. What happened some weeks ago when Derrick Henry went down and everybody was like, oh my God, they're completely done. And then they come out and they fire on all cylinders like they're the world beaters. Look, this team's up against the wall. I am not a Tennessee fan, but I'm only going to tell you what I see. Their backs are up against the wall. It is a must-win situation for them to go ahead and even thinking about playoffs, okay? They have to win this football game. On the other side, so do the Pittsburgh Steelers. With that being said, I don't have the sack to turn around and put a boatload of money on Tennessee. I like them this much, getting the 1.5. But you know what I love here, Jacob? You know what I love here? Bet the over. I promise you this game is going to go over. Neither team, and right now Tennessee couldn't catch a cold on defense, but you know what? Pittsburgh Steelers are not very good on defense either. The number is 43. Look for a high-scoring game here. Look for short fields because I think both teams are going to make mistakes. The elephant in the room is telling me game of the week, bet the over on the Pittsburgh-Tennessee game because of the fact of all the injuries.
Sure. Harry, I like that line too. I was going to say that. I like the over. This is a week for the points. This is a total week.
Yep. Hey, you want to go to some of your questions real quick?
Yeah, sure. Let's do it. What do you think?
We already seen that one.
Loaded with I couldn't think of anything else to say. Listen, I love the participation, Chris. I appreciate you commenting. It's great. If you have any more questions, feel free to drop.
I love Chris. No, we just had to turn on and say. I mean,
it's because I get mad about Brashad Perryman because I had to deal with him last year because he was my Jets wide receiver one and probably the worst receiving core of all time. All right, Harry. Next game. Arizona Cardinals minus 12.5 at the Detroit Lions. Points total 47.5. You like anyone?
Well, I know everybody in Tampa Bay is absolutely enamored with Detroit going through the upset. Okay, stop it. Okay, really, just stop it. I mean, give me a break, okay? Look, Detroit's not going to win another game this year. I'll give you anything on that Detroit doesn't win another game this year, and I'll tell you why. They've got their monkey off their back. They've locked up that first seed, that first pick in the draft. Trust me, they're done. Stick a fork in them. Arizona probably covers by 30, but I'm telling you now, I'm
so excited. I'm so excited for draft talk next year, man. To see when the Lions have the number 1 pick, and everyone is sitting here telling me that they shouldn't take a quarterback.
Who?
People are going to say, Kayvon. And my opinion might change on this. So I don't want to be caught in the sin that is receipts on YouTube where you can just go back and say, oh, I remember when he said this. No, listen, I'm looking at a quarterback next year for the Lions, no matter who it is. #college. Thanks. But no matter who it is, I'm looking at, unless it's Aiden Hutchinson or Kayvon Thibodeau, there's no other option. In my opinion, I think it's Kenny Pickett all the way. But let's talk about this game. No DeAndre Hopkins. Nuke is out until at least the NFC Championship is what I'm hearing right now. So how much does it hurt this offense? I don't think it's going to hurt them very much at all. They get Chase Edmonds back today. They have 2 great running backs in this backfield now. They have 3 great running players on this team that they could line up. Kyler Murray, Chase Edmonds, and James Conner, who are all incredibly efficient runners. Christian Kirk gets the job done, in my opinion, for this team. Rondale Moore is pretty good. I really like him. When Nuke was out, Rondale Moore stepped up and played really, really well. And Zach Ertz is a good addition to this offense now that I like. So I don't think this team gets hurt very much by the loss of DeAndre Hopkins. Obviously, you want him out there, but yeah, Jets are keeping an eye on Bucks. I know that's a joke, but not the Jets. Anybody, you're not hiring. I'm going to go off about this another week, because I just simply don't have the time. Byron Leftwich should not be a head coach next year. He shouldn't.
Thank you. Here, I'm going to go ahead and please tell all the Chicago fans out there as well.
You don't want him. You don't want him.
You don't want this.
I followed this campaign way too closely the last year and a half to see anybody, to wish Byron Leftwich on anybody, unless it's like the Dolphins or the Bills or the Patriots. Detroit. Yeah, probably. Kenny Pickett is probably.
All right. By the way, Jacob, did I get a chance to tell you? It's 78 degrees
Yeah,
today
yeah,
down
yeah.
here.
You
I'm
don't have to
just
tell me.
hold on. It's 78 degrees out here. Oh, it's so nice outside. It's going to be a balmy 85 today. But you
Yeah,
know
yeah.
what? Next week we got a cold front coming in, highs in the low 70s. Oh God. Please pray for me. We have to pull
Wow.
out the
Wow.
jackets.
I don't know. I
At
don't know
night
what I'm gonna do.
at nighttime, we're going to have to wear parkas.
I don't know what I'm gonna do here, Harry. I don't know what you're gonna do. Be careful. Stay safe out there, man.
I know
Jeez.
it's pretty bad.
Yeah, Atlanta Falcons plus 9.5 today at the San Francisco 49ers. Points totals 46.5. Listen, I don't know.
Listen, I don't know. I love that one.
I love
Can I help you with this?
I love the Niners.
Yeah, I did too, but the line's actually going down again. It started at 11, went to 10, 9.5, 9. Now it's 8.5. But
No
you know
way.
what hasn't changed? You know what hasn't changed, Jacob?
The points total take the over.
Take the over, man. 46.5. But I'll tell you what, if you can get 9.5 or 10, take Atlanta. Take Atlanta in this game. They're going to be a backdoor cover, but I love the over. Second best pick of the week. Take the over 46.5. Harry the Greek gave it to you.
My game of the week right here. Next game. My game of the week.
Yes, sir.
Cincinnati Bengals plus 3 at the Denver Broncos. Points totals 44, Harry. Week 1.
Talk to me, Jacob.
This couldn't have been week 1. This couldn't have been. It wasn't week 1. No, was it? Was the Bengals Vikings game week 1?
I don't remember.
But you remember it. You remember.
Oh, when you were taking when you were jumping up and down on Cincinnati.
I tell you, pound the Bengals. They're gonna win, and then they lose.
No, they didn't lose. They got their ass handed to them.
This is my game of the week.
Oh no, ladies and gentlemen, stop. Hold on, I got to go full screen. We're gonna start talking Cincinnati again. If you pick the Bengals, I am gonna come through this camera and choke you.
The Cincinnati Bengals plus 3 today. Absolute cinch of a lock. I love it. I love the Bengals today on the road in Denver. Healthy team. Denver's not that good, guys. They're not. I love the Bengals today plus 3. You know what? I'm feeling juicy today. Don't just take the Bengals plus 3. Hammer that money line. Hammer the Bengals money line today.
You're starting to sound like me. Oh my God. Are you going to tell the people the next thing you're going to tell them is to shove it in with both hands and don't forget any chips. Put your feet on the table and push. Make sure all the chips go in there.
I love the Bengals.
I give up.
If you couldn't
tell. This is too much. I love it. Jacob, you ready?
Yeah.
You're right. You're right. I got to give it to you. I really like the Bengals today. But you know what else I really, really like?
The over.
Over.
Yeah, it's the week of the over. Week 15.
Bet over. And it's not 44, it's 43 and a half, Jacob.
I might just do a 14-game parlay of just all the overs today. Every game going over.
Oh Lord. Hey, I got to give a shout out to my co-host on the Over Under on Friday nights. Mr. Peter Blake from the Sports Web. The guy is viral right now. He was credentialed for the Jake Paul fight last night, and he was asking some really, really good questions. It was like a 45-minute interview, and he was sporadically in and out. And you can go to his website, you can go to his page on Facebook, YouTube. You can follow him. But I'll tell you what, he asked him about a Rolex watch that apparently Jake Paul has given other fighters, for putting them through the ringer. And Jake Paul paid a nice compliment to him and says, "You know what? You want a Rolex?" And Peter Blake, if anybody knows him, said, "Well, yeah, sure." And he goes, "Great. I'm going to have my guy get your information. You'll look good with that Rolex on." He got his information. Peter Blake is getting a Rolex. He's the man. He's viral on TikTok now. He's viral on YouTube, and he's my co-host.
Yeah, he is. He is. You're so popular.
No, he's popular. I'm the dunce sitting in the corner picking games.
Yeah. All right. Green Bay Packers -7 at the Baltimore Ravens. Points totals 43.
Can we make this quick?
Can Tyler Huntley cover again? The answer is the Packers are going to blow them out.
The Packers are going to just beat the brakes off this team. The problem is do you like the over 43.5 or under?
I don't like it at all. I'm not touching this line.
Me neither. Weather's supposed to be inclement over in Baltimore. Green Bay is going to have a very good running game. Aaron Rodgers is not going to have a typical Aaron Rodgers game where he throws for 350 yards, but I'm going to tell you right now, he throws for 2 touchdowns, and they're going to get 2 on the ground.
Yeah. All right.
Green Bay covers here, -7.
Yeah, I got Green Bay. New Orleans Saints +11.5 at the Tampa Bay Buccaneers today, Harry. I know a lot of people are going to like my answer on this one. 45.5 is the points total. I know Christopher Cole's not going to like my answer because I think the Saints cover today.
I wouldn't surprise me to see the Saints cover, but right now Tampa Bay needs to make a statement in this game, Jacob. They have to make a statement in this game because
I think the Bucs win. I think the Saints cover.
And Tampa Bay has had a horrible time trying to cover the game. I'm going to have to go to Texas here. I do like a small position on the over today.
Okay, fair enough. Las Vegas Raiders. I mean, if you touch this game, you're a moron, in my opinion. It's just the COVID is it's ridiculous. You can't put your money on a virus. You really can't do it. Raiders +3 at the Browns. Harry, please tell me you're not touching this game because it feels like it really goes either way. The only thing I maybe like is the over 40.5.
Well, I want to know if my book is going to give me the 6 points and the Cleveland Browns because now it's Cleveland -3. Originally, the Vegas Raiders were over 6-point favorites. I was like, I'm pounding Cleveland because I knew that they were going to cancel this game and postpone it and move it forward. Cleveland has to win this game.
We don't even know who's playing.
I understand, but you know what? This team, look, I do know this much for the Raiders, that their star tight end, Darren Waller, he's out. Okay, He's not playing. Okay. I don't care who's playing quarterback, Jacob, for Cleveland. They're not going to have to throw more than 5 or 6 passes. I think their defense is going to be okay enough to go ahead and get after not Davis Mills.
Derek Carr.
Thank you, Mr. Derek Carr. By the way, Jacobs, their running back, he's expecting his 9th child. I do want to throw that out there, by the way. His 9th child.
That's a real number. That's actually a real number, which is hilarious.
9 children, 8 different mothers. Great. That's for another show. But anyway, his mind's not going to be in the game. How can it be? I have no idea. I'd be wore out. But anyway, 9 kids. Are you kidding me? How old is this guy? 23?
Yeah, something like that.
Unreal. God bless him. But no, Cleveland needs this game. They have a 2-headed monster in that backfield. If they could resemble any kind of a defense and muster it up and run that football, Cleveland's supposed to win this game. But I don't have the sack to bet it. Stay away from it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, for sure. Minnesota Vikings -6.
9. Chicago. You heard me say that, right? 9. No. You heard me say that. 9 kids.
Oh, I thought you said. Oh, yeah.
9. It still blows my mind.
No, Minnesota Vikings -6 today at the Chicago Bears. Points total 44.5 at the Bears.
Well, you're not going to understand this, but I got to ask. Now, are the Minnesota Vikings playing the mini Bears or the big Bears?
It's a good question.
Yeah, okay. But if they're playing the Chicago Bears, play Chicago this week. Take the points and definitely look for an over in this game. The over is 44.5. Chicago puts up 28 points in this game. Minnesota's got really, really good offense. Do not know if Adam Thielen's going to play in this game. Akeem Hicks is not playing from what I understand. Or is it? No, it's Eddie Goldman has been activated. He's going to play. Defense will be strong enough, and it'll definitely help Chicago's cause to cover this game because of the fact of whether or not Thielen's going to be able to play. That means Jalen Johnson.
I'm going to go to Texas on this one, but I think I like the over in this game for sure.
I like the over more than I like Chicago. I'll tell you that. I think that's a really, really good bet there. Go for it.
And the 2 games that got moved forward to Tuesday Night Football, the Washington football team +6.5 at the Philadelphia Eagles. Points total is 41.5, Harry. 1, I love the over in this game. 2, only if Taylor Heineke plays. If Heineke plays, I'm taking Washington and I'm taking the over. If he doesn't play, I'm not touching the game.
Well, if Heineke is playing, the Washington football team should be favorite in this game, to be honest with you. And I have the total right now at 42, but from what I understand, Heineke's not going to be cleared.
They were 4.5 even while Heineke was playing. They were +4.5 while Heineke was playing. Mm-hmm. So I don't know. They don't believe in Washington this week, which makes no sense to me.
there's something going on there, and usually Vegas isn't usually very far off, especially with these predictions and their odds. That's a game I'm going to go to Texas on.
Yeah, me too.
If it's game time, if Heineke is playing, go ahead. Don't be afraid to
Yeah.
to make a little position there, because I'll tell you what, Washington is the better football team here.
Yeah, for sure. The Seattle Seahawks +6 at the Los Angeles Rams. Points total's 45.5. Harry, I've made it very clear on this show that I don't bet NFC West games. They go either way. I said it with the Rams game. I was like, there's a very good chance the Rams can cover and win that game. Now there's a very good chance the Seahawks can cover in this game. There is. And I hate the Seahawks, and I think they are a bad football team. I know they're a bad football team. But listen, this is the NFC West, NFL, no effing logic. I'm going to go to El Paso here on this NFC West game, Harry. Maybe. I was going to say maybe take the over.
There you go. I definitely like the over in this game. I think the Rams are going to score 30+ points. Plus, I think they're going to go ahead and cover the 6.5. Hey, you got some more questions here in comments.
Let's do it, and then we'll wrap this thing up here.
Got it.
Does does Eric Bieniemy finally take a head coaching job? It's not does he finally take one. It's does someone finally hire him?
Someone to interview him, you mean?
Yeah. Man, he deserves one. What do you think about Peter Blake and Jake Paul now being best friends? They are best friends. I think Troy Polamalu might just be Peter Blake.
No, he's not.
Peter Blake and Jake Paul took him to his bank, and now he's quitting sales.
Oh, God. Christopher Cole says, I don't really care about the score as long as the Bucs win. That's the spirit.
Yes, fair enough. As a fan, that's what you want to say.
Yep.
Is that it? That's all we got here. That's all the
I think that's all we got.
That's all the comments, Harry, and those are all the games. So I'm going to let you get out of here. Go ahead and tell everybody where they can find you.
You can find me right here on 1252 Sports and other platforms on a show called The Over Under. It's sports prognosticating. I'm giving you all my best picks of the week. I've been on quite a bit of a heater now, past 4 weeks in a row. Sure hope you've been taking some of the advice, because making a lot of money. It's Friday nights, 9 p.m. Eastern, 8 p.m. Central. I'm your host, Harry the Greek. Peter Blake's my co-host. We have multiple guests coming on there where we're going to give you our best picks. And as I always say, Jacob, keep your bets low and your returns high. Have a good day.
Yes, sir, Harry. Appreciate it, man. I'll talk to you later.
Take care, brother.
Peace. All right, guys, and with that being said, we're going to wrap today from the Hard Count Football Podcast Live. My name is Jacob Charnow. Thank you so much, everyone, for joining me today. Special thanks to Harry the Greek for coming on, as always, talk about all these games. It's always a ton of fun. Go follow me on Twitter at Jacob Charnow and on Instagram at Hard Count Football. Be sure to subscribe to the Hard Count Football on YouTube and check out all the other amazing shows right here on 1252 Sports Chicago, guys. Enjoy Week 15. I'll see you all next Sunday morning.